This is the first game I played as the Unseven Sajj deck. And right now, mulliganing with this deck was pretty interesting because I'm tempted to try to keep high drop Dying Wish minions in my hand if I have the Unseven. In this case, I didn't, so I just mulligan my high drops. But in some cases, when you have the Unseven, you're kind of tempted to keep a high drop or mulligan for a high drop. So in this situation, I don't actually have a way to cleanly kill this because I can't attack from this square with both my minion and my general. Otherwise, I could Falchius this and attack with the minion. So instead, I'm going to try to run the minion over here and just cycle my deck a little bit. And then I'm going to move up and play Falchius in a defensive position so it can't be killed off by the Silver God Knight. And I'm just going to attack into it so that if it attacks anything, it will die. I'm not sure if this was the right play. This was kind of a difficult turn because I had so many options and I just really wasn't sure what to do from here. My opponent is taking the mana crystals, the mana tiles, so they're in a pretty strong position right now to cast a lot of minions onto the board. They just Holy Immolation, which just gets damage on my face and destroys my 2/5, which isn't something I'm overly concerned about right now. They also play a Sun Wisp, but this leaves me in a decent position to destroy two of their minions and lay down the Unseven. And I forgot to replace beforehand, so I replaced after I laid down the Unseven. But my goal is to have it die and let the Amara Healer drop into play. And I actually ended up with both two Amara Healers and my Ostrix. So if this doesn't get dispelled, we get something huge. And they play an Arclight Regalia, which is pretty scary because my life total is now only at 13. So I'm going to move back and kill the Provoke, just so I can run and suicide my Unseven in hopes that the healer drops. I get the Ostrix, which is very strong, but I was looking for a more defensive minion. And I also grab a Delotus. So I have a pretty huge board right now. It's just my life total is a little bit precariously low. So I get hit with the Sunbloom, which, as we said, dispels a weakness to this deck. But having an 8/6 and a 5/3 is still very, very strong. So I go all the way down to 8, but I do have the healers in my hand, and I'm hitting 6 mana, so I can start dropping those. They play a Spelljammer, and right now I'm thinking that with the cards in my hand, I can beat what they can play. So I want to kill off the Spelljammer instead of going for my opponent's face. And this might be the wrong play because I do need to kill this Regalia pretty quickly. But the Amara Healer makes it really easy to kill the Regalia because if they attack into it, they take a durability damage. Plus, if it dies, they take a second one. So it dies pretty quickly. And they're able to kill my 8/6 without it doing too much. And they're clearly playing a very aggressive version with the Blaze Hounds and the Sun Wisp, just a very low curve zoo type of deck. So right now I'm going to suicide the healer just so I can gain some life. And then I'm going to run my Delotus to kill the Sentinel for free. And I'm able to summon both the Unseven and the Sojourner. So I have a pretty decent wall and I'm at 13. And I'm still retreating, which is a little bit unfortunate because I have these two artifacts in play, or in my hand, that can't really be used from back here unless I get an Ankh. But I think I win this game if I don't get in any, if I don't get trapped by a Provoke minion. So right now I'm leaving myself a little bit vulnerable to an Iron Cliff, but I can kill it using my Bloodborne spell. So right now he's just dropping a very strong Provoke right next to me. So I'm going to want to try to drop the healer next to it, which can battle it. First I'm going to draw a card though. I'm going to just heal my Delotus so I can get a free kill on the slow. And I end up dropping the Delotus out of the Unseven, and then I drop a healer. And I just move to this side of the board, just away from the Silver God Knight. And right now I have 3 cards, and they have 3 cards. And I have a much better board, even with the big Silver God Knight. So now I get a Tombstone to even further protect me. So I can probably start turning more aggressive, especially with the Falchius, which can protect me from damage for a turn. They chaining Silver God Knights into Afterblazes, so that's a little bit precarious. And then they actually, I believe, concede because they cast the Sunbloom. I'm not sure where, but it didn't actually hit my minions. But in this position, I was going to be able to kill both of these and both of their minions, and they would be left without much board. So that's the first game. The next two, I think, are a little bit better.